Hey, it's Paul. Welcome back to B&B Talk. I want to thank you for checking out another episode. I need you to do me a favor and subscribe. Today's a very special day for me. It's my 16th wedding anniversary, and how did I celebrate it? You might want to know. I had a great time. I have the loveliest wife in the whole world. Her name's Rebecca, and what I did is I surprised her with champagne, some sushi, and some flowers. And it's been a great anniversary, but I'm going to jump right into what happened on today's episode. First thing we see is Steffy, and she asks Wyatt if he's propositioning her. Now, it's very tongue-in-cheek between the two of them, but Wyatt tells her that she can still have a hot and steamy summer, and all she's got to do is just hang out with him. He really sells himself to Steffy, and but she's not sure whether he's serious or not. And at one point, they do talk about Nicole, and he lets her know it's something that he wanted to work, but it just didn't work out, and that's it for them. And he reminds her too that the two of them should stop mourning the people that they're trying to get over, which is Hope and Liam. And they also commiserate a little bit because he does bring up the fact that both of them lost children with the people that they were dating, and they both had to go through a lot of mourning, and it's time to stop doing that. And then we see Liam, and he's with Ivy, and Ivy is racked now. I mean, this is totally, Steffy has gotten right into her head, and that's all she can think about. She just needs a lot of reassuring, and Liam tries to reassure her, but Ivy says that Steffy will stop at nothing to get him back, and she's really, really worried about this. She tells him that she doesn't want to lose everything. Since she's come here from Australia, things have been going really good for her. She's got this job, she's got the guy of her dreams, and she doesn't want to lose it. Now eventually Bill shows up, and Ivy takes that cue and she leaves. Now Bill, the first thing he lets Liam know is that, he's sorry he couldn't let him in on the act, but it was all an act. And if you've seen Bill, it's true. It was all an act. When he had it out with Rick, same way he pushed his buttons, it was all an act. But he tells his son that he couldn't let him in on the fact that it was an act. He didn't want to blow his cover, but Liam was obviously upset. He believes his dad, but he wishes he would have let him in on it. And Bill says, Katie felt the same way as well, that he should have let his sons in on it, but they don't call him Dollar Bill for nothing. So we chalk it up to that. And then Bill moves into his favorite territory. He wants to talk about Steffy, and he wants to know how Liam's doing with regards to Steffy. Now, he wants his son to go after her, and he makes no bones about it. And he doesn't think that Ivy can hold her own against Steffy, but Liam is forever the Boy Scout, and he says that there's nothing going on between the two of them and there won't be anything, but Bill begs to differ. We also see Ridge and Caroline. It's probably the most touching part of the show, and we see Ridge encouraging Caroline to come back to work. He really needs her to make his work environment, what it used to be, and they work so well together. But you can tell that Caroline's depressed, and she tries to get him to actually leave, but it's not working out. Ridge, what Ridge does is therapeutic, but it's one of the hardest things you've seen. He actually makes her recall her accident, and as a viewer it's really tough to see because that Lindsay Godfrey, the real life actress that plays Caroline, went through this, and she has to relive the accident when the car was on top of her, when people came to help her, when she felt powerless and couldn't move her legs. It kind of really breaks you down when you see her break down. It was one of the most poignant things that I've seen. I don't know how she got through it, and it must have been tough just for the writers to introduce this to her character, but there is hope because Ridge, he's a real trooper. He sticks by her and he lets her know that he's going to help her through this. He does one better. He goes and he brings her a walker and he encourages her to try. And we see her taking steps, and it is so authentic based on the fact that we know that Lindsay Godfrey lived through this, and we see her taking her first steps, and it's really nice to see. And he's there for her, and they have a really nice touching moment. I just love that we get to see that vulnerability, and we know it's real because we know that experience for her was real. So it's a really special moment. And the other thing we see is that an immigration officer shows up, and he's looking for Ivy, and he's got questions for her. So something's in the works here, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I want to thank you all for checking out B&B Talk. It's Paul. Don't forget, follow us on social media, and have a great night.